whole basement to yourself is really nice.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna come and prank you, and I'm just gonna cut all of the fish netting, so all of the fuzz stuff just falls.
I sincerely hope you don't do that, because that shit is itchy as fuck.
That's the point.
What, have you tried that before?
Yeah.
Well, no, because like
took a bath in it once.
because
Big mistake.
we have an attic too, like that rope hanging down in the little miniature hallway type deal.
Can I see the mic? Whichever one we're using.
Oh, so close. But so like the attic, there's no like it's completely exposed in the attic as well. There's like no like mesh wiring or anything, and I stepped in it once by accident. Biggest mistake I've ever made.
That's why he has a mechanical foot now.
Yeah, I had to chop it off, man, because like, because I'm pretty sure that stuff's got like fiberglass in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, probably. I know when we were.
I know it fucking
a
hurt,
long time ago, I got
and it itched a lot.
All the ribbons.
My sister rides horses. Those are like
So none of
her.
those are yours.
No.
A lot of them.
Well, actually, some of them
Dustin,
are
you're a
like.
major disappointment.
Thanks. Well, no,
Actually, she's got a lot of greens, and I'm pretty sure green's not first.
a lot of she has a bunch in her
Does that
room
have
too.
an on or off switch?
No, she's always on.
The
I mean, some of them, like I think the ones above the door are actually mine, like countywide.
hey, those have blue.
Yeah.
All of yours have blue.
Yes.
Hey, boy,
Which place,
you're
man?
my boy, blue. So what is green, Nick? What's green?
I think green's blue. Oh, it's probably participation. Let's be honest here.
There's Edge Horse Farm. Hey, that's where Abby used to go.
It's the one right there.
It's,
So it's
it's across the
participation.
road, dude.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What about
Like
yellow,
yellow's third, isn't it?
And Red's second.
Red's second.
white.
White fourth. Pink fifth. I think.
What's Red?
Participate in a lot of stuff.
Red's
Red's
second.
second. I know that because that's almost.
So this is Geralt of Rivia, the protagonist of The Witcher 3. He is obviously a Witcher. Where do Witchers come from?
Or what are they?
And what are they?
Witchers are born in volcanoes and they kill witches.
Witchers, they seem to have human form, so I would assume they were born of human, mothers. So I'd say that was probably their, origin. They probably hunt something.
Definitely human. They definitely kill stuff because they have swords. I would guess they live for long periods of time because he's still jacked, but he's old because he has white hair. Yeah.
So obviously, Witchers are from Ermagon, and they have been coming from Ermagon for years. They get trained by the first ever Witcher, and what they do is they go around and they make sure that order is restored, and when bad things come by, they fight them and basically protect their village that they were from, and sometimes they'll even venture out and protect other villages to do good.
Just
I'm
put it
actually
in your
gonna
mouth
be
and try to
Mike
talk.
from Monsters Inc.
Just put it in your mouth and try to talk.
This is Ciri. The whole point of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is that you are trying to find her before the Dark Elves do. Why are you trying to find her, and what is her role in the story?
Clearly, Ciri is some type of warrior prostitute. She's the best in the land at fulfilling both her duties as a warrior and a prostitute, and that's why Geralt needs to find her before the Dark Elves, so they can't use her powers for evil.
Seduction powers.
I would say she looks like like Geralt, sort of like she should be old, but she's not like really. So I'd say she's probably his daughter, and even though she has weapons, she's probably terrible at using them, and so she's like a damsel in distress sort of person.
She has white hair, so I'm gonna say she's old. Just like the dude, Geralt. I don't know. I think she's related to him because they both have white hair. And why does he want to find her? I think she's good at fighting. She has a lot of swords on her, so I'm gonna say that.
So, from everything that I've gathered, the reason that we use Siri on our phones is actually because of this character, which is because she is all knowledgeable and she knows everything pretty much. She got lost. She was trying to fight against a plethora of mystical creatures, and she ended up getting stuck out there. He's trying to go find her because she's the only one who knows how to fight them. And really, if he wants to be able to fight them, or if anybody wants to be able to fight them, they need her. So, going to try to find her, and the Dark Elves don't want her to be found because they are in charge of the mystical creatures.
Great. As Geralt, you have to fight several of these throughout the duration of the game. What do you have to do to kill a wraith?
Okay, I'm going to say that wraiths can only survive and function in really dark areas, so you have to lure them into Lower. You have to get them to come into the sunlight, and then they dissolve in the sun.
Well, he has what looks like a big tongue coming out. So I would assume that he uses that to suck your soul from your body.
I think it looks more like a sheep.
So I'm gonna say if you just feed him something really, really bitter, like soap or something, he'll just like implode.
All right, so it looks like he's covered in something green. That's obviously acidic. So like if he touches you, you're gonna burn. You know what I'm saying? So don't touch him. That's one way to kill him. And I say you can just chop his head off. That's what it looks like.
So this guy clearly has been to Oz. He's covered in green, and his beard that is hanging down from the front of him. The appropriate way to fight against them, which not everybody does, is you're supposed to end up grabbing the beard, yanking on the beard, and his neck is actually very weak. The sinew and stuff around the neck, I think is that correct, is very loose, and so as soon as you pull on the neck, the head actually pops off. A lot of people don't end up doing that though. So the most common way to try to fight against them is to use any kind of blunt object or blunt weapon and swing at them as hard as you possibly can and just try to smash stuff. And eventually it will end up...
This is Triss Marigold. Who is she, and what does she do in the story?
She is a marine biologist, and she teaches him about dolphins and how to use them. Do it as a head.
What did you?
Alright, well, if the previous girl wasn't a prostitute, this is probably... But I'd say
No,
she's...
you know she's a prostitute.
I'd say... I know. I'd say she's probably dual class because she has a pouch of magical glitter tied about her. So I'd say she's probably a mage also. I don't know.
Triss is a big plot point. She's a soulless demon that lures in Geralt, and she tries to kill him in the end, but he ends up chopping her head off.
Triss is actually the bartender for the local pub, and she's the one who basically every time you come in and you're trying to find a new mission, you go talk to her, and she's the one who sets you on the right path so that you know where to go and what to do.
The Emperor of the Nilfgaardian Empire, and in the game he is invading the Northern Realms where the game takes place and where Geralt is originally from. Why is he invading the Northern Realms?
Okay, he is definitely invading the Northern Realms for their vast opium supply. He obviously wants to gain control of that because it's a powerful trading mechanism. And if he controls the opium, he'll control a lot of other stuff.
As with any king invading, it's very easy to just say that, it's probably for money or it's probably for power. But I'm guessing that this guy is one of the royal houses that is very inbred, and he is just, in his insanity, just lashing out at everything around him.
His horse gets stolen. His favorite stallion, white stallion, with the longest mane that anyone's ever seen. That's why the horse is cool.
Obviously.
It gets stolen, and someone steals it from the northern place. And so he's going to try to invade it because he's kind of immature. So he really just wants that horse back, and he's going to kill anyone for it.
Geralt, his homeland was invaded by Dark Elves earlier, and so this guy's actually trying to invade from the other side so that he can combat the Dark Elves and basically save all of the humans and Witchers. So effectively, this is actually like the best guy in the whole thing because he's leading all of these people to try to save others. It's not looked at exactly as that because obviously if somebody's invading you, you're going to look at it negatively, but his intentions are very well and good.
Shani from the DLC. What do you have to do to romance her in the game?
In order to romance her, you must buy her a pair of shoes.
You actually have to sprout your own wings so you can reach her because she has her own wings. So you have to be able to get to her in the sky before you can actually romance her. It's kind of a weird thing to understand, but that's how it works.
So, all comes back to the Dark Elves. When the Dark Elves ended up coming, they ended up taking her younger brother captive and ran off with him, and she was in no position to be able to save him, go retrieve him. So your character ends up going out, saving her brother, bringing him back, and the moment she sees him, she basically says, "All right, your reward is me."
This girl has a thing for only morbidly obese men. So basically what you have to do is spend about a year's time traveling around to every restaurant, every pub, and just eating as much as you can.
This guy's actual name is Gontar Dim. His nickname is the Master of Mirrors. Why is he called the Master of Mirrors?
Easiest question so far asked. He's known as the Master of Mirrors because he basically can see everything. With a mirror, you're able to see what's behind you. If you position more than one, you can see what's around you. He's known as the Master of Mirrors because he's not necessarily spies, but he has eyes everywhere and is able to see everything that's going on. So if you need information, if you need knowledge, anything, he's your guy to go to.
Yeah, he's so we all know the story of Perseus killing Medusa. I believe it's Perseus, right? It's Perseus.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, you can.
So you can't look at Medusa. That's very similar. There's a similar kind of enemy in this game where you can't look at them, so you have to use mirrors. So he's the best killer of those, and he's holding one of their skulls. That's not human. It looks human, but it's not.
Gontar O'Dim. Okay. He is known as the Master of Mirrors because he is an incredible narcissist. And there was one day he went to Novigrad. He went to Novigrad and he bought all the mirrors in the city just so he could look at himself many times. So he's known as the Master of Mirrors because his house is just full of it.
This man is known as the Master of Mirrors because underneath his clothing, his full body, neck below, is actually an entire mirror. And if you're able to seduce him and get him to take his clothes off, you can look into this mirror and see yourself.
Novigrad nickname is the Free City. Why is it called the Free City?
I'm going to go with the historical German sense of the word, in that it's not part of a surrounding city-state ruled by a duke, it's ruled by a mayor who rules the city and nothing else around it. That is it.
It's very simply known as the Free City because everybody inside of it is free. There is no ruling power. There is no person in charge. There is no group in charge. Everybody can come and go as they please and do whatever they wish while they're there.
It's called the Free City. It's it kind of doesn't really make sense. It's FR33. That's how it's spelled. It's actually a gang. and the gang rules the city, and that's how it works. That's why it's called Free 3-3 City.
It's called the Free City because there's an infinite abundance of goods and materials here. And
In the Witcher
everything.
universe, the humans have been habitually hunting down and attacking elves periodically ever since they came to the same lands. Why are the humans exterminating the elves?
Humans, mainly, well, the male humans, they're fueled by their sex drive in this game mostly. And elves have always seemed to be a lot more attractive than them. So they just want to kill the elves so they can have whatever with all the chicks and all that kind of stuff.
I'd say they're hunting them down because the elves are taking all of their jobs away from hardworking men. I'd say that is the primary reason.
In this game, elves are very similar to vampires are in other games. Elves prey on humans, prey on other creatures, like sometimes livestock. And so a lot of the reason humans are trying to eradicate them is to try to get rid of other organism, I guess, that is trying to eliminate them, kill or be killed.
They're trying to kill the elves because they dress much differently than all the other humans, and the humans in this game are very fashion oriented.
Here's Ron Everett. He is immortal when we encounter him in the game. How did he become immortal?
The reason that this guy became immortal, his family was actually attacked when he was young, and he was attempted to be killed, and he ended up fending off his attackers, and a celestial being actually came down and granted him immortality for surviving. He said that you've been through enough, and they will keep you alive. And in turn, he ends up serving that celestial being, performing different tasks, actions, making sure that evil can be eradicated in the name of.
So this guy was he was a good friend of the Master of Mirrors, who in the game is rumored to be an abyssal demon. They started out as enemies, like awful enemies. Then the Master of Mirrors sent him to hell, well, his hell, because it was like his house, but it's like hell because he was being tortured and stuff. But I mean, then he got that guy to vow his life to him, and he granted him immortality so he could just like wreak havoc on everybody else. So that's why he's.
This guy became immortal either through his own good deeds or through some powerful artifact. He killed an immortal and basically inherited it from him.
The game makers ripped this one straight off of Macbeth. It was 3 witches that granted him immortality, and now no man born of a woman can kill him.